let's start with you, man. What have you been playing?
Sure. Well, I tell you what, I fired up a really old game last night, one that I had on my hard drive for, gosh, many years. It's called
Mm.
Child of Light.
Love
And
that game.
yeah, I remember we had spoken about this game on and off on a few episodes because I think I've always wanted to play it. And
hmm
when I've mentioned it, you've said yourself that it's a really tremendous game. Now you never beat it, right? But you played like a
Correct.
substantial amount of it.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened, man. I had it on the 360. I played the ever loving shit out of it. It's a fairly short game as far as RPGs go.
Mm-hmm.
If my memory serves, it's like 20 hours or less. I want to say it's like around 15 hours. And I put in some substantial work, and I think I got very close to the end and never beat it. And I don't remember why. That's just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But everything about that game is just fantastic, and it is something that I would love to revisit and beat.
Yeah, it's. I encourage you to do so. I mean, I've only played probably about a couple hours.
Mm.
Um, I'd say yeah, an hour and a half to 2 hours, and loving it. You know, I really wanted to play something kind of enchanting and sort of whimsical after
Mm.
talking with you about some of these sort of indie games like Spiritfarer and stuff, and just looking at those visuals, it just made me. It just kind of rekindled that fire that's been within me for a couple months now, where I've just been wanting to revisit something a little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah.
And after all the stuff that we've been playing, it's just kind of the right time, I think. And as much as I'm looking forward to getting back to Ghost of Tsushima, I just know how big of an undertaking that game is, and I'm really want to take my time with that. And I
Yeah.
felt like I just wanted to fire up something kind of fresh, and not such a large game.
Yeah.
So downloaded Child of Light. Didn't take long because it's not a very big game, and yeah, just went right into it. And immediately I was familiarized with the main theme song, which I really like.
Yeah.
It's mostly piano, I believe, and yeah, it reminds me of like a children's book, like a
hmm
really good children's book that you would find in like an old library, and you pick it up and you open it up, and it's just enchanting from page one. And this game, you've done a tremendous job just bringing that sort of storybook kind of quality of animation to life. And even just running around as this character, Aurora, you can see her hair almost like dye, like ink dye coming off of it. An incredible amount of detail in the animation and the way that the clouds move and the world kind of like shifts. It kind of reminds me of, those like old children's books where you would open up a page and you would see like the clouds move as the page is
Mm.
opening. It's
hmm
like that kind of thing where they sort
Yeah.
of shift. And I fell in love with the visuals immediately. The music playing in the background was good. The sort of environmental sounds, like sort of the background noise of just howling wolves and just sort of, I don't know, it has like such a twinkle to it. And it felt good to just play
Yeah.
something like that on a Sunday evening.
And if I recall correctly, the art style has like a watercolor kind of look
Yes.
to it, right?
Yes. It's very much like a watercolor painting sort of
hmm
coming to life. And I love stuff like that. I love games that
Yeah.
have extremely unique sort of Grease-like artwork and visuals. And it reminds me of Grease, actually, in quite a lot of ways from that
Sure.
perspective.
The
So,
everybody in this game also speaks in rhyme, correct?
yes, it's very much like a sort of poem rhyme or a rhyme poem, however you want to say it. And
Okay.
yeah, I wasn't too sure how I felt about that immediately. I was like, this is not really my style. I wasn't really expecting it. However, I'm choosing to just kind of put that on hold right now to kind of form a proper opinion because I'm too early into it.
Yeah.
But I'm engaged, and I think that the combat so far is nice and simple. Kind of reminds me of Octopath a little bit. Just kind of straight up, turn-based, simple mechanics.
Yeah.
And it's got your basic stuff like MP, HP. You can, attach and enchant your weapons with different jewels. I can't remember the exact system that they have there, but typical things that you would find in an RPG. They're present with Child of Light, and excuse me, and this game came out in 2014, April 30th to be exact, and apparently there's multiplayer. I think you can do 2-player where they can control this other little character that kind of follows you around and provides light, which is kind of interesting. Can't remember his name, but you can use the right analog stick to have him float around, kind of like Navi from Zelda.
Right.
So that's cool. It's, I'm so early on, I can't say too much else, but I'm just thoroughly enjoying it. I'm looking forward to getting back to it this evening and spending at least an hour with it before bed. And yeah, man, I'm just really thrilled to discover like an old gem that I owned. It felt nice to not buy something. It felt nice to kind of go into my little treasure chest, as I've referred to it so many times before, and dig out an old treasure that was waiting for me. And sometimes, you know what, as ridiculous as it sounds, if it took me 3-4 years to get to it, I don't give a shit. It's here now.
Doesn't matter.
It's getting played, and it was the right time. So
yeah, man, like I've been really enjoying going through these like bite-sized games.
Mm-hmm.
We've played some pretty lengthy games, some pretty heavy games at the start of this year, and just kind of hitting a run of games that are like 5 to 10 hours it's been really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And this is a little bit longer, but not by much. This is going to fall into that bite-sized category. It's a very concise story. I don't remember there being too many side quests. I'm sure they exist, but it's been 6 years since I've played it, so my memory is not the best when it comes to shit like that. But it is a wonderful, wonderful game. The soundtrack just gets better and better, and if you're looking for whimsical, I think it doesn't really get much better than this.
Yeah, I forgot to mention too that I'm actually really excited to hopefully learn some piano themes for Child of Light, because I was listening to some of the themes in the game, and they're fairly simplistic. They're at my level of skill, hopefully. So I'm hoping that I can get some of those down pat and get something up on the SoundCloud. Just a
Awesome.
small little tribute to like maybe the main theme song, because I'm digging it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that, man. Hopefully you can find some time and a way to kind of get that inspiration.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I actually had my first sort of creator's block on Saturday, and I was really startled by it, because lately I've just been kind of putting it out on the desk, plugging it in, and just kind of going to town and coming up with something pretty quickly. And on Saturday I did that, and I was like, shit, I'm not getting anything. Like, nothing was sticking. I was messing around with different samples and libraries, and I was at it for like probably a couple hours, and I was like, you know what? I need to be respectful of the fact that I'm not getting something this time, so I'm going to put it away. Yeah. And it was hard to do, man, because like I said, I was on this streak of just banging out tracks, and I suddenly realized that maybe I just need a short break, and it was probably a sign for me to get back to gaming, so I'm glad I did. Yeah,
just kind of, take a step back, and sometimes something comes to you when you're doing something else.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, that's my little recap of Child of Light. I will definitely have more to talk about next week, and I'm looking forward to really kind of experiencing that game for what it is.